J-Mill for Real presents the X's and Oh No podcast featuring your co-host J-Mill and the guy that's
The guy,
better
the
than
guy
you in fantasy football, or the narcissist, or
yeah, the
the
narcissist.
or
But
or whatever you're going with.
the guy that absolutely despises all things fantasy football this week.
The guy who absolutely despises all things fantasy football. I mean, we're gonna get a good name for you. Oh wait, what was that one name? Yeah, it was a really fun name that you said.
That was not a good. I don't know. Little Fuddrucker was good, but
Oh,
yeah.
Little
So
Fuddrucker. Hey, Mel, the Little Fuddrucker. I don't know. We're gonna go with something at some point, but I'm just glad that we're
um, the way the way things are going right now, you can always call me the next Speaker of the House.
the
Um,
next Speaker of the House. There we
yeah,
go.
because it seems like all you have to do to get that job is say that insurers, and people think it. But then, it's up for grabs anyway, so I might as well put my name in.
Yeah, why not? And yeah, no, yeah, I don't have anything to say off of that other than the fact that our political system's ridiculous, and we'll leave it at that.
So
Um,
what's more ridiculous before we get into the apologies for missing time? The commissionership of Roger Goodell or the American political system?
oh wow, with that's the third topic. Let's start with let's start with the segue that those coughs gave us. So as you
Yes.
noticed, we've been missing for about a month, and some updates were posted on Twitter. Anyone who's following us on Facebook obviously knows that both of us and our families have been alternating sickness during this time. So everything from flu to COVID to pink eye to, you got anything interesting on that end? What were you guys all COVID and cold?
I actually, before my COVID stint, I actually had a blood infection. So that was cool. That was fun. Haven't ever had
Yeah,
one of those before. Um, yeah. And now apparently I have asthma. So thanks,
yeah,
COVID. Appreciate you.
yeah, right here too. So it's some bad sinus infections, got some flu, had a nice little relapse in there, and my baby boy has had COVID, a cold, and pink eye. Um, so sorry, you guys weren't the first people on our minds, and we love you guys, but we love our families. Let's just flat out put it plain and simple. So, and if those of
I
you
like,
who are
I mean, I like you guys and I like my family slightly more. So,
but yeah, so yeah, but we're gonna dive right back in. Like we're back in time for the final week, and but it's I mean, well, before we start talking about final week, let's talk about the events that is Monday and and everything that has led to it since then. So but it's I'm not saying it's old news at this point in time, but everybody knows the story of Damar Hamlin at this current point in time,
mhm.
and um, there's so much to take away from it. And really, when it all comes down to it, thank God that the NFL actually had a plan and executed it well for this sort of thing, um, because frankly, God used the medical staff to save a life on Monday night, and it's scary, it's horrible. You knew at some point something the NFL was due for something.
Mhm.
Um, and we all witnessed a player have a heart attack on the field. Um, but thank God for the recovery up to this point in time. Like it's he's he's FaceTiming people, he's holding hands with people right now. He's writing down questions. He had the nerve to ask if they won. Like
Oh, I realize that you and I have very different sleep schedules, so you may not have gotten the full thing too. He's not writing down anymore. They took the breathing tube out, and he's just fully communicating, just talking like a normal person.
wow. Okay, so
Yeah.
yeah, no, I got up. I got my first full night back to work last night, and so I
Mm.
got up maybe about 45 minutes ago. So
Yeah, so yeah, that's the big update for today is that Damar Hamlin's actually just talking. They took his breathing tube. He's fully
uh,
breathing on his own. He's got some oxygen support, like most people do when they're in the hospital. But yeah, guys, just and now the conversation has actually shifted to when might he get cleared to play? That is a question that he's asking. That is a question he's asking doctors: is when might he be able to play football again?
I
I
mean
just can't believe that because I mean this guy was
that
nine
that's not
minutes of CPR.
yeah, that's not in this season. Like you don't get cleared from cardiac arrest to come back and
And
help your team in a playoff run. Um,
respect to the everybody except for the Bengals. The Bengals owner can go screw himself. Um, but respect to everybody but the Bengals owner this at this point because it was a unanimous decision vote except him that said the AFC Championship game, if Buffalo gets there or Cincinnati gets there, it's a coin flip for whose home team, and they'll just play it at a neutral site.
yep. Yeah.
So
No,
I think that's very respectable. I'm not really sure why the Bengals would be so opposed, especially when everybody else already voted yes. You would think that you'd be like, sure, so that way I don't look like the bad guy.
yeah. So we're gonna have an eight. We're very possibly gonna have an AFC title game on a neutral site.
Yep.
A coin flip is possibly going to determine where Ravens and Bengals is in the first round. And that's where we're sitting with that. And one other thing to note, the Damar Hamlin toy drive has, as of yesterday night, has brought in over 7 million from his original goal of 2,500.
Yeah, that's a lot of
So
toys.
yeah, that's a lot of toys going to a lot of kids. And it speaks for something about the NFL community as a whole. They
Hmm.
really rallied around him. We're going to see the 30-yard lines. One of them is going to be painted. One of the threes is going to be painted red. One of them is going to be painted blue in every stadium. So we're going to see Damar Hamlin's colors on the 30-yard line in every game this week. So yeah, it's
And
it,
in case you're wondering too, yeah, if you go buy a Damar Hamlin jersey, the entire everything.
you
Will
are
go towards the charity.
you're
So if
cutting.
you want to donate $120 to a charity, but you also
Oh,
sorry, is this better?
yeah,
Yeah. So if you don't buy a Damar Hamlin jersey good. If you buy a Damar Hamlin jersey right now, $120 will go towards his charity, and you get a cool jersey. So there's that too.
that seems like a good thing to do.
Mm.
Yeah, that just seems like a good thing to do. And honestly, if another thing to do, just bringing in a fantasy angle for this really quick. And we're not going to talk about what commissioners decided to do because we don't have enough time on the show. And we've made it pretty clear that this is not a fantasy podcast quite a few times. But if you're still having a dispute over who should have been first and who should have been second, maybe talk to the people if they want to see if they want to donate that winnings to his charity, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, or I mean, there's so many options. Just a
yeah,
simple Google search will give you at least 20 different options.
yep.
You could always do what the wonderful, gracious Mr. Miller did and concede a championship. Um,
And, it's I was I was up by like 8 points, and he had both like Mixon and like Higgins go in or something like that, or Mixon and
mhm.
Burrow, or he had two, maybe it might have been Logan Wilson's right now. He had Mixon and another prominent Bengal on his
Yeah,
team.
it was Burrow.
It
Um,
was Burrow. Okay.
yeah, or you could do it. And I want to give a props real quick in the start of the show to Ray Corbo. Um, not normally known as one of the best commissioners out there, but one of the guys that tries the hardest. Um, he's going to go in and change the score, and whatever those players score for week 18 will be their score for week 17. And he didn't even give anybody an option. He just said, "This is what I'm doing." So good for Ray. Good job, Ray.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I don't think you could have sent it to the league for a vote. The commissioner had to make a firm decision on this, and anyone who tried to go behind a vote probably just pissed off their league more than any decision they would have made on their own, right?
Right. Yeah, oh yeah.
So But yeah, so so yeah, I don't know what more there is to say on that, and there really is no smooth transition here. So let's dive into some football, right?
Sure, football. I like it.
All right. So we start off with two games tomorrow. Both of the games have playoff significance. One of them has extreme playoff significance. Let's start with the winner take division, loser go home. Well, no, that's not true because Jacksonville does have some really fluky, weird outside chance that they can make it even if they don't win this game. But let's
Hmm.
be honest. It's winner take division, loser go home with with Tennessee at Jacksonville, and Tennessee rested up their starters last week because last week's game didn't mean anything to them. So yeah, it seems like a wonderful game to parlay, but one of the things to remember, one of these teams is coming off of what 5 days rest, and the other team
Hmm.
is coming off 9 days rest. Uh, so anything to say off of that? Is there anything that you like about this game? Do you have a parlay off of this game?
For me, the big thing for this game is I like Jacksonville minus the 6.5. Everything else here, I'm going to stay away from. The over is just wrong. Um, the money line is a little too. I would rather do a money line bet here, but at a minus 265, it's a little too dicey. I this week I got burnt by a minus 400 that I used as a sweetener and a minus 650. And then also minus 292. So I keep getting burnt this week by just adding sweetener. So no sweetener. But yeah, give you Jacksonville minus the 6.5, and I don't think this one's going to stay that close. It's still Josh Dobbs,
Yeah,
right?
it's still
It's,
Josh Dobbs, and the truth is Tennessee is not all that great against the passing game, and Trevor Lawrence has just been turning it on of late as a whole, and
do they even do they even want to win this game?
like I mean,
Like,
what's their choice? Ryan Tannehill's not going. Malik Willis has shown that he's really not the guy. At this stage in his career, he's shown that he's not the guy.
I mean, to
So
point out one thing, I've said Malik Willis is a draft bust before he was even drafted. So I really like the fact that he's proven me right.
yeah,
But yeah, I just don't see why this game is goes to Tennessee.
see,
Convince me that Tennessee wins. Can you
I'm
do
not
it?
going to convince you that Tennessee wins. For me personally, for this, it's an all Jaguars parlay because I'm not 100% convinced that Derrick Henry is 100%, and with his number at 91.5, there's no way I'm going to touch that number. Don't get me wrong, I'm not going against Derrick Henry, but
Mhm.
at the same time, 91.5 is a high number for a running back
Right.
with a hip injury. So
Yeah,
when
I
I'm
mean,
looking at this game, what I'm going to be playing, I'm going to be putting it all together. It's going to be the Jaguars money line. It's going to be Christian Kirk over 59.5 receiving yards. And you could easily decide that you're going to go Evan Engram, but I'm going to go with the fact that the Titans are worse against wide receivers. So I'm also going to double down with the Zay Jones sitting on the 54.5. And if I'm putting both of those players over their numbers, you better believe that I'm putting Trevor Lawrence over his 265.5. So
okay.
that's what I'm doing. Jaguar money, Kirk, Zay, and T Law all over.
And I can get behind literally all of that. One of the things that I don't like about this game and where my attention gets taken away a little bit
Yeah.
is just simply on the fact that I don't love games where somebody just controls the ball. And that's kind of the MO for what both these teams are going to want to do here is control the ball, drain the clock. Control the ball, drain the clock.
Yeah.
Um, so
It's a
I'm just
very slow game for a Saturday night.
yes. But ultimately, it is the better game for Saturday night.
Yeah,
Um,
because really, you could say all you want that the Raiders are going to come out and uh, the Raiders are going to come out and try to play spoiler to the Chiefs and whatnot. But I don't feel like with in games like these, we don't see Andy Reid lose too many of them, and the Chiefs just
right.
have a reputation of screwing up the NFL landscape whenever they can. And a Chiefs
Huh.
win is what will trigger the whole neutral site title game and so on and so forth. So I'm counting on the Chiefs in both a good way and a bad way to win and screw everything up. Right?
What does Vegas need? Vegas needs to win plus what? I know you said you didn't want to get into the playoff pictures, but I'm doing that to you.
I don't know what Vegas needs as far as what. What do you mean? I'm
Okay,
not following.
Vegas still has an outside shot to make the playoffs too, don't they?
Oh no, no, no. Oh, I thought you meant Vegas as in like betting places, not as Raiders. I'm pretty
Oh
sure
no, no.
no, Las Vegas Raiders are eliminated. They're not in the playoff picture.
Yep, you're right. I just went to the eliminated section, and so yeah. Anything here? Go ahead and give me the Jarrett to skin him over,
Yeah,
just because I really like watching former Patriots draft picks do well elsewhere, and watching Patriots fans lose their minds.
well, and plus we've seen that these Chiefs can't stop anyone in the passing game, it seems anymore. Like Russell Wilson has had two of his three best performances of the season against the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's a player that we're calling washed elsewhere. So it's very easy to look at the passing totals and think that, oh, by the way, the Raiders don't defend the pass either. So if this game doesn't hit the over, like I don't even know what to say. This is very
Mm.
easily a Stidham over 238 .5. It's very honestly, I think it's pretty easy Mahomes over 319.5. So for me building this, I'm going to put him in too. And then
Okay.
beyond that, we have Devontae Adams, we have Travis Kelsey. This is one of those ones where if you really wanted to stack and build out that 10 parlay bonus, it's actually a pretty decent game to do it as a whole. Because you could pick both teams on the scores over, you could pick the Adams over, you could pick the Kelsey over, you could pick the game over, and you could take the Chiefs money line to be safe. You got any comments off of any of that?
Yeah, go ahead and give me the Josh under for watching an entire half of this game. What
uh,
I'm not saying I'm not saying take the under on the quarter and a half, but a full half, yeah, take the under there probably. This is one that just it doesn't do it for me. It's like, you're talking about a Saturday at 4 o'clock. What else do I have going on? It's the first Saturday that my family feels healthy in a while.
yep.
So probably not watching it, much of it. That being said, my wife, her two favorite teams are the 49ers with a very close Raiders affiliation. She does have a Raiders tattoo, but
Okay.
I don't see even her caring too much about watching this one because there's really nothing to be gained here, except for the fact that Vegas needs a quarterback. Is Stidham the quarterback?
I mean, if obviously, if Vegas were to find a way to pull off this upset, then this is a very relevant game to Sunday, and it
Mhm.
makes and it makes everything that much more interesting. But at the same time, it's I don't know, like oh, and by the way, I said overs on Adams and Kelsey. Those numbers are 78.5 and 76.5 respectively. So as of right now.
Okay.
But yeah, let's move right along. We spent enough time on this. We now have uh, Buffalo Bills playing host to the New England Patriots. You know, on a normal week, I would think this is the type of game that could potentially trap the Bills, and
Hmm.
and the Patriots could upset this. But with everything, with the Damar Hamlin news and the momentum, like this just feels like what the Bills did to the Patriots in the playoffs last year might be mercy.
Well, right. That's what I was going to say. It feels like it might be worse than
Yeah,
that.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly what I'm saying.
The only reason I'm not going crazy with anything weird or ridiculous on this one, because at a certain point, maybe the Bills are a little more gun shy about injuries, and they're going to be like, "Wow, it's halftime and we're up 35. Yeah, let's go ahead and sit everybody."
Yeah, things could and the other thing too is like the Patriots are playing for their playoff lives here. So at the same time, this is one of those games where and we've seen Bill take away big time players before. Not that he wins the game necessarily, but I don't necessarily feel comfortable in picking which Bill it's going to be that's doing it. You get what I'm saying, right? Like
Right.
this could easily be the Isaiah McKenzie Cole Beasley show, which is why I'm
Hmm.
not playing any part of this whatsoever,
So let
except for
this sink
maybe
in, though.
putting the Bills into a parlay as winners of the game.
So is there any chance here that, and you have to follow a little bit, Miami loses, Pittsburgh loses, Tennessee beat Jacksonville, the Bills trounce the Patriots, and two AFC South teams just get into the playoffs? Because if it unfolds that way, then you get the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, which
Jacksonville Jaguars and Tennessee Titans. I mean, it
uh,
could
yeah,
happen.
Houston, yeah, they're relevant.
It could happen. I'm pretty sure Pittsburgh is going to win. Like, I feel very good about Pittsburgh winning their game. I forget who it was again. um, we're going down a deep way on this list to find the Pittsburgh game. Why am I not seeing Pittsburgh's game?
Uh, Pittsburgh is playing. I haven't pulled up. I just have to
Oh,
hope it loads.
they're hosting the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, who apparently had a massive blow up at practice today where players left.
Yeah, and frankly, this is the type of game that when Pittsburgh, I don't know, Tomlin, Tomlin has a way of winning. Just like I said with Reed before, Tomlin has a way of winning these games to
Mm-hmm.
and the Browns team is pure dysfunction at this point. Like, and
Yeah.
TJ Watt is just once again making a case for why he is the most valuable player in football. Not that he will ever have a chance to win MVP or anything, but Pittsburgh was dead in the water after his injury, and then suddenly they're back in the playoff picture because he came back. So
Mm-hmm.
stats might not be what they were in the past, but at the same time, I'm not sure there's a player who's more important to their team than Watt. And we're seeing it again, but we'll leave that at that. But yeah, so I'm not touching Bills Patriots. Are you touching Bills Patriots?
Yeah, I'll probably take the Bills point spread, but and I'll probably take the Bills team total over, and that's it.
Okay. Moving right along, the Baltimore Ravens with the Cincinnati Bengals. Um, man, we do not have Lamar Jackson again. We have a Bengals team that I don't know. I think will be playing with a chip on their shoulders. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like there's a there's a neutral site in the title game. I'm pretty sure the Bengals don't want to be in a coin flip situation to where the division is going to get determined by by a coin flip. So, yeah, and the Bengals were just the better team.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
the Bengals are just
Yeah,
the better team.
and the Bengals I think also have that emotional charge to them too. So yeah,
Hello, hello.
it gets wins all of a sudden that AFC. Yeah, hi. Um, so I like the Bengals too. Um, just can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Sorry, I was getting a news notification that the Michigan Wolverines violated COVID-19 protocols, and it apparently took my phone offline for a second. But yeah,
Oh,
I was saying I like Cincinnati. Um,
Uh, as far as props in this game, which probably work him into a quarterback prop situation, it will be Joe Burrow over the 272 uh point five for me. And I get it, going against Ravens defense isn't necessarily the smartest thing in the world, but I think um but the truth is in the less than a quarter that we had on that Monday night football game, uh Burrow was carving up the Bills defense.
Hmm.
Um, I don't see any reason why he's not going to be carving up the Ravens defense. I think it's crazy that um just like a year after all of the Justin Herbert hype, that Joe Burrow has established himself as the top quarterback in that class.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, that's crazy.
um, and yeah, I don't, as far as the receivers and everything, I think that these numbers could go all over the place. That there's going to be a little more spread out. So I don't necessarily want to play a parlay on this game because I don't love. There's enough weapons on Cincinnati's offense to where I don't love picking who it's going to be, and there's frankly I don't know what to expect out of a Ravens offense at this point in time. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm going to leave it alone, other than the quarterback, and I'm going to parlay him together with some other quarterbacks.
Okay.
Moving right along, Minnesota at Chicago Bears. Minnesota, at the time that they're playing, will have a chance for the 1 seed overall. Um, so they're going to be playing everyone the whole time. Justin Jefferson is like 178 yards for the single season receiving record. Call me crazy. I think that if the Vikings are up by 28 points halfway through the third quarter, there's still going to be passes being thrown to Justin Jefferson to get him the record.
Yeah. I'll allow that just because I think that they want the record for him.
Yeah. So when Justin Fields is not playing, the Bears secondary is bad.
Mhm.
It was bad before it got hurt. It got worse. They're starting three rookies in that secondary. um, the their run game has not been as controlling as it was earlier in the season. It's just this for me. You could play the Vikings all different sorts of ways, but the way I'm going to be playing this game is going to be a very simple. I'm taking the why do I not have okay, I'm going to be looking for these props tomorrow, but I'm playing a Justin Jefferson parlay. I'm picking the touchdown, I'm taking the reception over, and I'm taking the receiving total and receiving yards total, bumping it up a little, and that's what I'm playing this week from this game. Anything for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just gonna do a solo standalone off this game. I'm gonna do one bet where I take Jefferson all the way up to the 160 because that's as high as I found that I could take it.
Yeah,
So I'll take it all the way up to the 160, throw like a couple bucks on it, and walk away from it.
yeah. So, and really, that's all I want to talk about in that game.
Mhm.
Cousins will also find his way into my quarterback parlay that I'm building this week because, frankly, if you're going to be keeping Jefferson out in the field, you're going to be keeping Cousins out in the field, and I'm
Right.
sure that the Cousins number is not going to be that much higher than 260. So, so whatever the Cousins number is, I'm popping that in. All right, moving right along. We have the New York Jets at the Miami Dolphins. No, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. The best part about this game is it reminded me of that time Quentin Williams sneezed and it said "bless you, thank you" to himself at the NFL Combine because that made me laugh really hard when I went back and watched that video. But other than that, I just okay, Jets win.
Yeah, it's
Miami.
the end of a disappointing season for both of them. Miami's playing their third string quarterback against a defense that owned him the first time around. It's pretty clear the Jets don't have their quarterback on their team, quarterback of the future on their team right now.
I
There's
will
really
say this: if Miami fires their head coach after losing this game, they're idiots.
McDaniels and Saleh deserve to be the head coaches of these team after this game, regardless of what happens in this
Mhm.
game. I think it's utterly absurd that there's Dolphins fans or Jets fans calling for the head of either or. Like it's you got to start somewhere to
Yeah,
rebuild, and
You're idiots. Yeah, you've seen enough of both those guys to realize they're good coaches. Don't be an idiot.
Yeah. If you feel
But
the
I
need
don't
to
really
play
care about this game
anything in this game,
because Miami's gonna lose. Miami's gonna lose. Yeah, Miami loses. Patriots lost. Steelers win. It's Steelers backdoor their way into the playoffs.
it just kind of feels like the narrative. Steelers
Yep.
backdooring their way in just feels like the narrative as far as I'm concerned.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, if you want to play anything from that game, you can go. Garrett Wilson's heavily targeted by Mike White, and I'm sure the receiving totals there, but yeah, I'm not. There's not enough for me to play a receiver parlay, and I'm definitely not going to parlay the game. So moving right along, the Cleveland Browns, Pittsburgh Steelers. Honestly, the player that I love the most in this game is I'm going to pull it up, and I've already sung his praises earlier in this podcast, but in big games, this guy has a tendency. In important games, this guy has a tendency to come up with big games, and if T.J. Watt doesn't get multiple sacks or a sack and a turnover in this game, then I'm going to be dumbfounded. So I'm definitely playing the T.J. Watt sack in this game. I'm going to probably stack that with another couple sacks because it's very easy to play some of the other ones. We know that the Lions are going to be playing hard and the Rodgers is less mobile, so I'll probably stack a T.J. Watt with an Aiden Hutchinson sack, and frankly, Kevin Pickett doesn't always get the ball out of his hands immediately, so maybe pop a Flash Garrett in there too.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the only thing about this game is Pittsburgh's going to win. The Browns are bad. Um,
And I think the game's going to be ugly. I'm not relying on anyone to go over what their number on DraftKings is.
the only thing I'm going to say about this is, wow, Cleveland, you look real dumb for giving away that much for Deshaun Watson. So congratulations, you look like idiots.
He has looked very pedestrian. There
Very
have
average.
yeah, there have been a few flashes, but there's also been some very bad plays there too. I yeah, makes me feel
You
good.
know, how much of it is the fact that he came in after missing a year and a half? It's just an off year. I don't really know. Um, don't really know. Don't really care. Cleveland's done, and
Yeah.
Cleveland's done, and Baker's not. That's. But Baker won the divorce. That's crazy.
It feels like everybody who leaves Cleveland wins.
Yes.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Baker's not going to the playoffs, but
No, but Baker might have played well enough to get himself one more shot.
yeah, which is all that really matters for him at this point in time.
Right.
So good luck for him there. Uh, I'm gonna pop down the Watt sack. I'm gonna put the Hutch sack in, and I'm sure I'll find one more sack along the way here. All right, moving right along, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are favorite. Buccaneers have nothing to play for. Um, they're gonna. I feel like everyone important to Tampa Bay is going to be sitting in this game. Um,
Yeah, I'm going to avoid everything from this game. In fact, I'm going to avoid talking about it and we'll remain quiet until you move on to the next one.
okay. I think if you wanted to play something in this game, it's pretty clear that Tyler R. Jones taking the workhorse. I would extremely doubt that Vita Vea is going to be playing this game whatsoever. So it's very easy to put him over 100 yards. But at the same time, I'm not playing a running back parlay. I'm not playing this game, so I'm not playing Algier. It's pretty simple. So I'm not playing anything. So moving right along. Carolina Panthers at the New Orleans Saints. Yeah, I'm going to say what you said about the last game, and I'm going to pass it to you.
Yeah, give me the Saints. Because and moving right along.
Yeah,
These are two teams that are irrelevant, so we can move past them. If you want to hear us talk about the Saints and the Panthers, please join us for our very long off-season shows where we always say this show will be an hour. 2.5 hours later, we're finally done recapping a division or a team's draft needs.
Yeah. All right, moving right along. The Houston Texans versus the Indianapolis Colts. So if everything goes right for the Colts in this game, and by right I mean they lose, they get the third pick overall. Um, I get it. Houston is lose and they get the first pick overall, but somehow they screwed this up last year.
Hmm.
And I don't know if this is because I need an upset in my in my uh in my team money line parlay, but Houston has a way of just screwing everything up.
Yeah, so I was gonna say just
So
off the
Houston
eyeball test.
wins.
Yeah, just off the eyeball test, I'm gonna take Houston. I actually am gonna bet Houston, and that's just
Okay.
because they've looked much better than Indianapolis the last month.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are talking about a bad run defense, and Zach Moss has shown some signs of being decent when Taylor was in, but and I get it. I get the Texans run defense is awful, but it only takes a weird special teams or defensive play early in a game like this to have the
Mhm.
Colts in a spot where they have to pass. And the Texans passing defense is actually a lot better than most people realize. And now you're getting guys like Jalen Petrie involved. And I don't know if anyone's been following anything as far as Petrie is concerned, but the guy is the next big deal uh, from an IDP, from an IDP standpoint. So like when it comes to the secondary, this is the guy that you want on your as your IDP defensive back more than Derwin James because
Yeah, I
he's
mean,
oh yeah.
yeah, for me, this game's just it's another one of those games that I hope that the red zone doesn't think I care about.
So personally, I'm going to be looking for a way to play the Petrie tackle total, and if I'm feeling a little frisky, I'm gonna play this one's a later in the day game, correct? No, it's still early. If I'm feeling a little
Yep.
frisky and I did well on Saturday, I'm gonna be playing a Texans defensive special team touchdown. Um, so, but yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing a Petrie tackle total. DraftKings doesn't have it currently for some reason. Okay, moving right along. The New York Giants at the Philadelphia Eagles. The Giants have nothing to play for except to play spoiler against the Philadelphia Eagles. But if they do that, then the Dallas Cowboys win the division. So it's not really like the Giants. It's like, who do you hate more?
Hey, what team was it that cheated and cost the Giants a playoff spot?
Oh, okay. But do you really think that they're going to play Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones just
No,
because of
I think they'd be stupid if they do.
that?
Sit them both, let it go.
Yeah.
Here's me being a nice guy for you. Give me the Thibodeau sack. Give me the Thibodeau ridiculous celebration. Um, where everybody in the league thinks he's a bad guy. Um, just
It's
give me
not
the
it's not
give
a
me.
good look when he's doing it right next to a Foles who's riding
He
behind them.
he claims he didn't see him. There's no way he didn't see him. And you know what? For that reason and that reason alone, give me Thibodeau as my franchise player because that was hilarious.
He's
I
like,
know
oh,
you're.
he's a former evil Eagle. So there's some sort of rivalry there.
I mean, I know you're a nicer guy than I am. I personally was belly laughing with tears coming out of my eyes when it happened.
I was
Um,
I was kind of stunned. I was just watching it. I was like, oh my goodness, he has no clue. Like I'm in the camp that believes that Thibodeau honestly didn't see it happening because I don't think that Thibodeau is that type of guy to where he's going to be making fun of it. Like
I thought it was hilarious. Regardless, if he saw it, it's hilarious. If he didn't see it, it's still funny. But yeah, give me the Thibodeau sack here, and the Giants not giving a crap about the game. Let's go six seed.
What was that?
Well, we're the six seed.
Yeah.
We're playing next Sunday. That's all that
So
matters.
and frankly too, I don't know. I feel like this Eagles team was always going to be the one seed, and I can't just I couldn't go against them in this spot, to be completely honest. So
So
uh
what I will say though is, a little spoiler for next week's show,
okay.
because obviously we have a show next week and we're going to talk about playoffs. Give me the Giants on that deep playoff run, baby. The Giants do not win a Super Bowl when they win the division. They've only ever, they win one when they come out of the wild card. They win one when they have to go through Lambeau to do it. Um, we've already beaten Aaron Rodgers once and made him look like an idiot. So yeah,
Well,
give me that Giants
if
deep
you guys
run.
are facing the Packers in the playoffs, you're actually going to be hosting that game.
The Packers are. Oh yeah, they are. Yeah. Well, anyways, just give me that Giants deep playoff run.
Honestly, how
I think
hilarious would it be if it was the Packers versus the Giants in the NFC title game?
um, that would be awful. Um, everybody else in the world will hate that. I'd love it. I like the Giants brand of football this year of just we're not good, we know we're not good, and we're going to steal a win anyway. Um, yeah. And you know what? Give me that Daniel Jones as being my being my quarterback for one more year. One more year, I'll tolerate this guy. But let's go
No,
get
no,
him
no.
some
Give
wide.
up on
Let's
him.
go.
Give up on him.
No,
I want him in the other New York.
I want him to have 1 year with actual legitimate wide receivers and a running back, and
Yeah,
let's see what he does.
he could have legitimate wide receivers and a running back next year on the Jets.
I don't want him to go to the Jets.
I want him to go to the Jets. Like, this is one of those things where this is my off-season wish list. Take Daniel
Hey,
Jones to the Giants. What?
who was that Jets quarterback that made me really happy last week? Dude just had swagger dripping off him.
Oh,
Just
Strevler.
yeah, give me that guy for the Jets next year. That guy screams New Jersey. Um, yeah, we can move on though. The only other thing I'm going to take in this game is if Daniel Jones plays, I'll take his rushing total over. But I don't think he's going to play.
There's no reason
You
for him to
know,
play. And honestly,
Jalen's.
if the Eagles are playing their starters in the first, like the reason why I'm not playing anything about this game except for and taking Eagles minus like with the points or with the money line, it just doesn't make too much sense to me. As far as because it's a lot of points to it's that even 14 number that I don't like, that could easily become a push. And money line, it just doesn't pay out anything to put that in a parlay.
No.
Just to be completely honest. So really, when you're looking at it, it's there's a chance that the Eagles that this game is all backups in the second half,
Yep.
and I can't touch that at this point in time. Dallas Cowboys at Washington Commanders. Um, Man, this feels like the type of game that McCarthy and Dak typically choke, right?
Yeah, but and they don't really have anything they're going to be playing for either because Philly's going to win, which means they win the division, which means Dallas plays next week anyway. So who cares, right? Like for them, my position here would be play the game long enough that you're scoreboard watching, and you're like, oh, Philly won. All right, yeah, we're done.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that the Cowboys have much to play for here. It that they're on the 4 o'clock game, so and frankly, I need another underdog to make my I normally do the 5 team round robin, and I need another
Mhm.
underdog. So if I jump on the Washington Commanders today before the Cowboys are sitting anyone, that actually makes my parlay and my round robin a better payout. So I'm gonna preemptively jump and assume that this game is meaningless for the Cowboys.
Yep.
But that's only because I'm trying to make something work that I normally do every single week. And frankly, this is basically more of a bet on Philly than it is a bet on Washington.
Mhm.
So, which means that Yeah, I'll give that to you at the end. All right, moving right along. Los Angeles Rams at the Seattle Seahawks. It's Seattle has everything to play for here, and I hate to continue to point this out, but the Rams, like I pointed out last year when they were the better team, the Rams have a tendency to just beat the Seahawks in important games since McVay took over the team.
Mhm.
And let's be completely honest. It feels like the NFL is raking Aaron Rodgers back into the playoffs anyway. So, like,
So
what we say,
does
right?
what is the situation here? Seattle has to lose in order for the Sunday night game to count.
Seattle has to lose in order for the Sunday night game to count. So really, this is one of those things where, like, I don't want to say the NFL is rigged because I really truthfully don't believe the NFL is rigged. But you have I don't know. These games typically work out for the NFL, it feels like. And if you can close the season with Aaron Rodgers versus Dan Campbell's motley crew being a win and in game for those two teams, um, I don't know. The football gods are looking down on this game and saying, "We want that. We want Dan Campbell to bite off Aaron Rodgers' kneecaps."
Yeah, I mean
And
it's for me. I think that you know what I want the Rams to win because I want the Sunday night game to count, and that's it. I have
and
no deep insight. I'm just bored of football sometimes, and that will make it fun.
yeah, so obviously I'm not going to play this because this is one of those heart picks as opposed to head picks. But I don't know. For those of you who are going back and forth on this game, debating about whether to play something with it or not, this just feels like a game that typically ends up working out for the NFL. So maybe don't play it.
Yeah.
Chargers at the Denver Broncos. At the point in time, if Cincinnati wins, and then there's no reason for the Chargers to play this game.
Yeah, but they will.
Yeah, but I couldn't see risking guys like Mike Williams and Austin Eckler and Keenan Allen who all have some level of injury history. And I don't know. Do you think Justin Herbert's going to be playing if they're locked into the seed?
No, I'm saying give me the under in this game. The under
Yeah,
is 40. Give me the under 40 because Denver's not scoring 21. Um, and if Denver can't score, and then I don't think the Chargers really have to score because I don't think it really matters. So,
the
that's it.
Chargers defense isn't that good, but until Russell Wilson does it against anyone other than the Kansas City Chiefs, I have no reason to believe it's going to happen. So I'm going to be avoiding this game altogether because I don't know who's playing at this current point in time, and
Mhm.
I don't feel frisky enough to play any Broncos offensive player.
So let's move on to a minus 14 or to the 14 and a half point spread of San Francisco and Arizona.
Yeah, we're I just jumped right over that one before. Yeah,
Oh no, you can. The only thing that I need to bring up about this game, J.J. Watt's last game, give me a J.J. Watt sack over Brock Purdy, just so the guy goes out with his sack.
I'm gonna put the two Watt brothers in my three man sack parlay. And I'm
Yep.
also going to put Brock Purdy in my over on passing yards.
Okay.
And frankly, I'm going to play CMC for for receptions and for receptions and
What is San Francisco playing for, really though?
San Francisco is playing this game at the same exact time as Philadelphia, so they don't actually know who the one seed is.
Right. My point is though that by halftime, you're probably looking at the scoreboard. You're saying, "Oh, that Philly game's over. CMC. Purdy, you guys are all sitting down so we can get ready. Um, so I
You
don't want
really
to. I'm
think
not
that
taking.
you really think the
I'm
Giants
not.
will be out of it by halftime?
I don't know if it's halftime or the late third quarter, maybe even early fourth quarter. I'm thinking it's enough time that it's going to take time off the clock in San Francisco. So I don't want any of the offensive players from San Francisco because worst case scenario is this ends up a blowout, right? That or not this game. I'm sorry, the Philly game. That game's a blowout, either one direction or the other. This is not going to remain very close at all.
Yeah,
So
but with
I
that said,
this you're likely taking the overs on these players, knowing that you might only be getting three.
so I
You
think that
know,
CMC has beaten both his reception total and his receiving yard total before halftime.
then play it. Um, yeah, the only thing I'm going to play from this game is going to be the JJ Watt sack. Um, I may even play a JJ Watt touchdown for like $1. Um, yeah, what are those odds? So they can't be great. Um, and by great, I
So,
mean like they can't be anywhere near something that doesn't pay out monstrosities. So yeah, I just don't really have much to say about this one other than that.
so you're
I
playing the
cannot.
Watt. I'm playing Watt also, and I'm playing CMC on all of his receiving stuff. Add the touchdown in. I'm going to give CMC the Justin Jefferson treatment this week and give them their both their own little parlays.
I cannot place a wager on a touchdown score at this time for that game.
Yeah,
So I'll let you know what the odds are on the JJ Watt touchdown.
a lot of this stuff there's still the news is still coming out, so we don't have definitive numbers at this current point in time. But yeah, so
All right, so that Sunday night game that may or may not matter.
well, it matters either way because the Packers have to win in order to go to the playoffs.
The Packers are still in though, even if Seattle wins.
If Seattle wins and the Packers win, the Packers are. If the Packers win, they go to the playoffs. If
Okay,
they lose,
so
there is no scenario in which they make the playoffs.
so yeah, my thought process here is I'm going to go with the Lions. You know, this is normally the shot where I would take a chance where I would take him. Sorry, this is normally the spot I would take a shot at Ethan. However, Ethan is a bandwagon fan and has switched his fandom from the Packers over to the 49ers. So don't really get to make fun of him, except for making fun of him for switching his fandom.
Yeah,
But yeah, what I do like here is I like the Lions. And I also like the over. I think 49.5 is really low for this game. Detroit's defense has gotten marginally better, but not better enough. And their offense almost sometimes looks like
Detroit's
they put
defense has drastically improved against the run.
right against the pass, not as much. And Aaron Rodgers is going to throw the football. And I think though, there are games when you watch this Lions team where they legitimately look like they put the other team on rookie mode, and they just could do whatever they want on offense. They would be very scary. This team would be very, very scary with anybody other than Jared Goff as a play caller.
Yeah, I mean, I think the golf hate is a little extreme. I think that the golf is in the upper half of quarterbacks that's starting in this league
Mhm.
right now. That this Lions team could very well win with him. He's got the weapons. One a player clearly to point out in this game is Amon-Ra St. Brown. Before you get too excited about Jair Alexander shutting down Jefferson twice, uh, Amon-Ra plays from the slot. He doesn't play where Alexander is going to be on him. And frankly, he's it's how we in fantasy how you always look for that wide receiver that's going to turn it on late season. And it's like who's going to be this year's Amon-Ra St. Brown? Well, guess what? It was Amon-Ra St. Brown. So
Mhm.
he just So I'm definitely going to be playing overs there. I don't know how much I trust. I don't know how much I trust the Packer running game versus the Lion run defense.
Mhm.
Um, So if that's the case, I would also be I'm doing a small stack here. I'm going with Amon Ra's over on his receiving total. I'm going with Christian Watson's over on his receiving total. And give me a Jamal Williams touchdown because Jamal Williams actually ties Barry Sanders' touchdown record for the Detroit Lions if he scores this week.
Hmm.
So fun
With
little
2 extra
fact.
games to do it.
Yeah. Oh no, one extra game. That was his,
Oh yeah,
Barry Sanders played his
quite a
whole
17
career.
game season. Yep.
Yeah. But
Yeah. So
yeah. So give me a Jamal Williams touchdown. And I'm not honestly, um, I hate the fact that this game has always seemed to go Aaron Rodgers' way in the past. I hate the fact that it's in Lambeau. But I'm not betting against Dan Campbell in a
mhm.
backs against the wall situation. And since I believe that this game will have relevance for the Detroit Lions, and I think it has relevance either way. Dan Campbell's made it pretty clear. I'm playing my starters because if he's not playing to make the playoffs, he's going to play to keep his divisional rival out of the playoffs. And lots of respect for that. So, but yeah, for me, it's going to be Amon-Ra Watson and a Williams touchdown. So, yeah.
All right,
Show
cool.
picks?
Before we
Oh,
get into our picks, 2 picks for you. One, really good book recommendation. Hold the Line. Um, if you're that guy that likes to read books like I am, take away your political opinions. Hold the Line is a very good book that I just finished up. It is the police officer's account of January 6th, and the bravery and courage that that took. Now, moving on from that, give me TCU plus 450. That's just your college football bet. Now we can go to show picks.
okay. So, just a quick rundown of some of the stuff that I'm going to be playing. My 5 team round robin. I'm going to be playing the threes on this one, so it's going to be Bills money, Falcons money, Steelers money, Texans money, and Commanders money. I'm placing that today before anything happens, so that I can maximize the value of playing Commanders money. I'm going to be playing a full parlay on Justin Jefferson, a full receiving parlay on CMC. So definitely, as far as yeah, and then I'm going to be playing the double Watt and Hutchinson uh sack roundabout parlay. And yeah, so and it looks like I couldn't build my full quarterback parlay, so I'm going to slide T-Law into a Cousins and Burrow quarterback over parlay. And like I said before, I gave you what I'm going to be playing as far as the Jaguars game, as far as the Chiefs game, and as far as the Sunday night football game. So on to official show picks. Yeah. Do you want to start with some of the do you want to start with some of your official show picks? Or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll, because we have to do a touchdown score, and like you make me do a touchdown score. It's not an option, guys. Like J-Mill actually makes me do it.
Yep.
Um, I'm going to take it because I want to get my guy before you can get him.
Yep.
I want Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown.
All right. So Josh is gonna go with Justin Jefferson to score a touchdown.
Mhm.
I'm gonna double down on my Jamal Williams one. So yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's do this fun. We'll rotate back and forth, and we won't be able to pick the same thing.
Yeah, let's do that for this week.
All right. So frankly, when I'm looking at this, man, that TJ Watt quarterback sack for my defensive pick just has to happen. So it's so I'm gonna go with TJ Watt sack as the next one up on my list. What about you?
I'm going to be a nice guy, and I'm going to leave JJ on the board for you.
Okay, I'm not taking
Um,
JJ.
you're not taking JJ, then I'll take JJ.
All right.
Wow, Devo's, you know what? And then John, I'm gonna double tap real quick because we just got some breaking news.
What
Give
happened?
me a Debo Samuel touchdown.
All right, so you're playing 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, because Elijah Mitchell, CMC, and Debo Samuel are all playing against Arizona.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so since you're going 2 touchdowns, I'll go with 2 defensive props this game. Give me Jalen Petrie over his tackle total. I think he's going to be lighting up the Colts this week.
Okay. So your turn because I double tapped. So
Yep. All right, so my turn. I'm going to be coming back and let's see. Looking through everything, I will be. Let's see a player plot, a player prop. Let's give. I don't know what it is yet because it's not showing it yet. But give me Amon-Ra St. Brown over his receiving total.
my big player prop is going to be Stephon Diggs, his over whatever it's going to be. I haven't. It was up and then it was down, and when I did see it, it was like 92. So yeah, I'll take that.
All right, let's do it. Um, moving on right along to the games. It's man, these point spreads make me want to stay away from most of them. But really, when it comes down to it, I'm going to take. You took Jefferson. I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm going to lay the 6.5.
Okay. Um. So we had a thing early in the season. I want to say week 10 or 11, where instead of flipping and adding points to your show pick, we allowed a parlay bet for your super pick.
Yes, we're gonna do a parlay bet for our super pick as our last pick. So I'll let you go first.
Okay. Nope. So I will wait until you tell me it's time to do that.
Okay.
Give Go ahead and give me the go. Yeah, I'm just making sure I pull it back up so I see it properly. Um, yeah, give me the Steelers minus that 2.5. I think that's just abysmal.
Yeah, that was where I was gonna be headed next there. So yeah, you know what? No guts, no glory. Oh no, you're up here. My bad.
Oh, it's my turn again.
Yeah, we've been
All
snaking.
right, all right. Then let's go Buffalo minus the 7.5,
All right. Bills minus
and
7.
call that a boring 7.5 because it's gonna be no suspense on that one. Wait.
I have full faith in the Texans to screw up their season. Full faith. So give me the Houston Texans plus 2.5.
Okay, nice.
And then
I like that.
let's double tap this. Um, you know what? We're gonna do it. We went with a little bit of the upset there. It's a ridiculous point total, but give me the San Francisco 49ers, and I will lay the 14.5.
Wow. Wow. My I do have a big point spread here too. I want the 14 points on the New York Giants.
All right.
I,
You want the 14 points on the New York Giants.
yeah.
So that's going to be the Giants plus 13.5.
And in case you're wondering, there's no Premier League pick coming in at you. Yes, I know sometimes I've thrown out random soccer picks. It's the English Cup this week. Like there are no Premier League games. That's why there's no crazy soccer pick or any Canadian football or anything stupid. There's just nothing else going on this week.
You want to go for our final game pick? You want to go head to head, Packers versus Lions?
Yeah, I'll take the Lions because I know you want the Packers, right?
I don't want the Packers. I just feel like it's going to be the Packers. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so yeah, I'm good with that. We can that makes it easy. Then I
All
don't
right.
have to think.
So Lions plus 4.5, Packers laying 5.5. So there's a chance we both lose.
Yep.
All right, and now for our big parlays. What's your big parlay? What's your parlay that you're playing for your final pick?
So for my final pick, it's gonna be I used them as part of a show pick. I could do that, right? I can use one of my show picks. Okay. Then give me the Buffalo Bills minus the 7.5 and the Jacksonville Jaguars minus the 6.5. And then for good measure, give me the Buffalo Bills team total. I believe it's 26.5 right now.
So wait,
Um,
Buffalo, Jacksonville,
and the Bills team total. I know that one's a little dicier because, then we don't really know what emotional state they're in. But I don't think it matters. I think at the end of the day, yeah, the Bills total points is 25.5. I
I
think at the end of the day, they're going to score 4 touchdowns.
okay. And what I will be doing for my final one, I'm also going to be double tapping on a show pick and pulling one of yours in it. I will be going with 3 or more sacks total for the Watt brothers this week.
Oh, I like it.
So
I like it a lot.
thank you, thank you. It feels right. Like it feels like the type of game where they could where one of them could end up with 3 and one of them could end up with 2.5. To be completely
Mm.
honest, um, I JJ will definitely give a send off. Like honestly, I probably believe in JJ to collect it more than JJ to collect 3 or more than TJ.
If it was a different situation where Brock Purdy's not playing for his future, I would also I would also almost expect a Brett Favre Michael Strahan situation where he accidentally falls onto the ground and JJ touches him.
It could very well we could very well get something like that at some point in time. But frankly, JJ Watt doesn't need it. He's been playing the best football that he's played in like half a decade over the course of the last 3 or 4 weeks. So over the course of the last half a season.
So
Uh, but yeah,
yeah.
that's everything. This is week 18, guys. Like next time we're talking to you, we're gonna know who's in the playoffs, and we're gonna be making our full playoff picks, start to finish, crowning our champion, and then doing uh the normal show after that. So it's yeah, uh
John,
because
that should be 2 shows.
that it has to be 2 shows.
No, I said it should be 2 shows. Well, we could talk offline, or maybe I could just call you out and hold you to it now.
Okay,
We should record one of those shows early week and release it for like a Wednesday drop, and then release our normal show on Friday.
yeah. And are we gonna try to get are we gonna try to get the a playoff league?
We are trying with the COVID that took me down for a minute.
Yeah,
I'll
look,
set it up
yeah,
tonight.
that's I'm sure
I'll
everyone
set it up.
will understand.
Yeah, I'll set it up for tonight, and yeah, I'll set it up tonight and send you the link, and you can post it on Facebook.
Yeah, we'll post it in the JMO for real Facebook group and probably in in a few other leagues.
Hmm.
Make the buy-in nice and small to keep people
Oh
tempted and
yes.
but still give a big reward and anyone who wants to play will be able to play because it's because I'm assuming we'd be going with the highest point scorers rather than head-to-head matchups, right?
Yeah, that's the way it goes. It goes high point score. So you get to take one. You take one player off. You have to fill each position like a normal fantasy league. You can only take one player from each team because you have to take one player from each team. So like you need to take one defense, you need to take one kicker, one tight end, you get one flex, and you just maximize it that way. So obviously your high, I shouldn't give you too much strategy, but your high point scorers, so your quarterback, you want that to be somebody that's going to get you 2 or 3 games. Your kicker, because they don't normally score a lot of points, that's somebody that you can sacrifice. unless you think there's going to be somebody like, Justin Jefferson who puts up 30 points in a loss.
So and since this is I'm assuming we're playing with IDP slots on this too, right?
I don't know. That's the part I'm having a hard time with because I'm having a hard time finding a league that allows IDP for defense for the playoffs.
Hmm. Well, that stinks.
I'm trying though. I haven't given up hope yet.
Okay,
But
okay.
yeah, so that's all I've got. You got anything else? If not, we can sign off. Let these people have some time back. And
Yeah, no. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for being a part of this. I hope that your holiday season was great and that you didn't spend it sick like us. And if you did, I hope that you're recovering and you're starting to feel better now. Uh, just if you have a few extra bucks, sending it to the Damar Hamlin toy drive would definitely be an awesome idea. But just throwing that out there too. I'm kind of all jumbled right now because I haven't done this in a little bit. But thank you guys for tuning in and thank you for being a part of it. And I hope things have been going well for each and every single one of you. Like I've definitely missed doing this, and definitely great to be back in the saddle again and just charging forward for the playoffs and into the off season. So when the off season does come around, we will take a couple of weeks off after the Super Bowl, and then we will jump in with a free agency preview like a week before free agency comes. So
and yeah, and John doesn't know this yet, but y'all, there's another podcast coming to the J Mill for Real community and to the family. John doesn't know it yet, so don't tell him. But
okay.
there will be prepared, guys. There's going to be a sorry, John, I stole your thunder here. The one group of people that love shows like this are baseball fans because we keep stats on everything. We could tell Jacob DeGrom's arm angle on a cloudy day at a 4:30 start. So there will be a J Mill for Real baseball show coming up too.
Oh, nice, nice. I like this. It'll
Yep.
probably be competing against J Mill for Real Pokemon show, but
No, we don't have to compete. We can just grow the network
yeah,
so big. These people work 40 hours a week.
yeah.
And if you're anything like me, you spend 30 hours a week in meetings and 10 hours a week listening to stupid podcasts about sports.
Awesome. So yeah, no, definitely. Oh, and by the way, congratulations to Ethan, who, just we give Ethan a hard time because, and rightfully so, on quite a few things. But he has been faithfully submitting picks every single week, even weeks that we didn't get them up. And I was like, oh man, so I'm just gonna basically say you beat me at this point in times. Like, because you took the time to make picks on weeks where I mean, granted, I was delirious and without a lung in some of those weeks, but at the same time, thank you to that, and thank you for all who have stayed tuned in and continue to listen, and we really appreciate you. Like, follow, share, all of the whole gamut. Yeah, we're we're we're, we're featured on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook at this point in time as the main social media. So uh, and frankly, that's all it's going to be for the foreseeable future for me. I'm not going to pretend that I'm going to get back on course with TikTok and Instagram anymore. If you want to run the JMO for real TikTok or Instagram, hit me up. So, yeah, see what I did there? But yeah, no. And remember, be responsible. We're coming out of the holiday season, and a lot of you are thinking more responsibly for this like 3 week period in which people are following their New Year's resolutions and whatnot. So I'm thinking that maybe you are in the money saving mode at this point. But just remember, when you're gamble responsibly. Only bet what you have. Only bet what you can afford to lose, and don't try to overcome a loss by taking a stab at something that you don't feel comfortable with. If you don't feel comfortable with something, don't play it. It's pretty easy, and make sure you're tracking what your winnings are at all times and knowing what's going on. And by the way, just quick side note off of this: if you placed preseason awards bets, like I don't know, someone might have put some money on like a Jalen Hurts MVP in the preseason. Make sure that you know those bets. Like now's the time to go back and see what you did in August and be like, oh wow, I look like a genius. Oh wow, I can't believe I thought that was going to happen. So keep an eye on things like that is very important because honestly, you might have some extra money coming to you that you didn't realize about. So, any final thing to say, Josh?
If you drink and drive, I'll break your pinky.
Yeah, no, and you'll probably break more
That's
than that if you do it. So, to be completely honest, so
no, I will break your pinky. I will go to the listener and I will break your pinky and then I will laugh at you. The end.
okay, that's assuming they're alive after doing it, right?
Right. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is, a gamble in and of itself.
Yep. And that's one of those things you don't need to be gambling on. So, but thank you all for tuning in. And, right now we are out like hopefully Aaron Rodgers is after Sunday Night Football.